Welcome to event number 13 of the hotelplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour. Now it's the Glenfarclas Open right on the beautiful Marhall Estate, right by the banks of the River Clyde. The venue for this week's event is the Earl of Mar Golf Course, which is set within 240 acres of stunning woodland estate. It's about 10 minutes away from Glasgow Airport. Now, it really does offer some stunning scenery, which is why the PGA EuroPro Tour has been coming here for the last 5 years now. Now, if you look at previous champions, if history is anything to go by, this really is a battle between England versus Scotland. In 2012, it was Scotland's Wallace Booth who took the spoils with a 2-shot win over the chasing pack. A year later, it was Englishman Dave Coupland's turn. He won a playoff against Spain's Sebastian Garcia Grout. 2 years ago, it was a 3-shot victory for Scotland's Craig Ross. Can you see the pattern emerging? And yes, England's Aaron Rai was last year's winner with a playoff victory over fellow Englishman Craig Hinton. Well, the story so far of day 1 and day 2, it was Rotherham's Jonathan Thompson who opened up with a splendid 63, containing 6 birdies and an eagle. He led by 2 shots.
Jonathan, 4 weeks a pro, and here you are leading the event after the first round.
Yeah, it's been pretty, you know, I played my first sort of couple of pro events, missed the cut and felt pretty close, but yesterday got out there and everything sort of clicked for me, and yeah, it feels good. I don't feel like I shouldn't be amongst these guys, and I'm enjoying it.
Thursday was a different story. As the rain came in, the players found many ways to entertain themselves, including this impromptu table tennis competition, the source of some much needed hilarity given the conditions outside. The nature of Thursday's weather meant the decision was made by the tournament director to abandon play for the day and play 18 holes on Friday, making it a 36-hole tournament.
3:10 this afternoon we had to suspend play due to the conditions, so unfortunately the time has now elapsed. That means that we can get all guys around for 36 holes. Therefore, we're cutting to the top 50 professionals and ties. Therefore, 62 players will be going forward to play the final round tomorrow. And we're hoping that the weather doesn't come in again tomorrow afternoon.
So this was how things stood after the 18 holes played on Wednesday. Rotherham's Jonathan Thompson led by 2 shots from Billy Spooner of Woodhall Spa. Behind them were 4 players at 4 under, including Billy Hemstock and Gareth Wright, and nestling just behind them on 3 under, a posse of Scottish players, including Neil Fenwick of Dunbar and Elliot Saltman of Archerfield Links. Well, with 18 holes left to play before the Glenfarclas champion is crowned, will history repeat itself? Will we see a Scottish champion? Well, not long before we find out. Now, Kit Alexander is speaking to some of those in contention before we reach the final round.
Trying to birdie every hole, so you know, that's the main goal really, and the rest is up to everyone else.
It would be pretty special, you know. It would probably be the dream that, you know, you do dream about.
Oh, I mean, everyone likes winning, don't they? So point golf really. So I look forward to get out there and having a go.
Like I said before, you just got to keep going. Win's a win. It's very nice on the old CV, but you know, got to keep going on to the next one.
Maybe 9 under could be a good target.
To win would be great, but you know, there's only one win at the end of the day, so hopefully it's me.
Time now to hand you to our commentators for what's set to be an enthralling final 18 holes. We'll also hear from former PGA champion Scott Drummond, but first, let's set the scene. It's Simon Golding.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, myself and Scott get the big build-up, but let's not forget one of Cornwall's finest, Gary Ellis. How are you doing, Gary? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you, Simon, and pleased to be here and looking forward to some golf.
Yes, we are looking forward to some golf, and we're quite lucky to get some golf on this final day, as we see Neil Fenwick just roll a putt in. There were concerns yesterday. Obviously, we had the suspension and then finally the cancellation of play, but this is how things looked early on. And Scott, we were worried.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good. You can see the heaviness of that rain there, and I'm sure all the officials were very concerned it was going to close in for a decent spell of time and potentially wash us out completely today.
Well, on with the tournament, on with the final round. We're assured the rain will stay away and we'll get the full 18. Billy Hemstock then with his approach on a course that has delivered some really interesting results, intriguing stuff over the last few seasons. Hannah alluded to that Scotland v England battle that we've seen, but we had an amateur winning a couple of years ago. We had Aaron Rye picking up the trophy after a fabulous playoff last year. So are we headed for another good finish? We've got a couple of decent Scottish golfers in contention. Here's one of them, Fenwick.
Yeah, long par 3 second. And he looked like he caught that slightly heavy. Coming up short and left there.
Back to Billy Hemstock, where we saw him playing his fairway wood and just catching on these deep front bunkers, but that really is an excellent escape from wet sand.
Yes, I was lying about the weather, and I think we've been misled somewhat. There's still some of that squally stuff coming through. Now Fenwick with his shot, looks like he's got a lie down there. Oh, well, he went at it. Scott, we've got this moisture out there. A little bit heavier than moisture maybe, but we know about the negatives of rain. What are the positives on a course like this?
Well, I mean, some guys are very good at just concentrating on what they're doing, one shot at a time, keeping the ball in play. You know, big thing today is keeping your equipment dry when these heavy showers come through. And, you know, it's a bit of a war of attrition at times, and we'll see who fares the best.
Well, he left himself with a tough one. And I'm afraid it got even tougher in that last couple of inches, just deviated away from the hole, but that's what you get. A little bit of rain, a little bit of traffic on the greens, and it's always going to be tough. Can you attack the flags a little bit more on a day like today?
Yeah, I think you can. I think, you know, you've got to be careful you don't put too much spin on the ball, but, you know, some of these on the last day, they'll be in tricky positions, and it's all very well attacking the flags, but that one's well wide. That's down left of the path across to the second tee, and you could see there straight off the bat. Interesting ball below his feet and way left. As we take a look at this first hole, par 5, dog leg to the left, a very, very narrow tee shot between these trees, extremely easy because you do need to draw the ball to overdraw it and disappear into the trees left. If you hit it too straight down there with the driver, you can pitch into this bunker. Not too difficult, it's a big flat bunker. And then again, it opens out a little more, but the 3 bunkers up by the green are extremely deep.
Yeah, and here's the second shot of Spooner. Coming up shy as well. There really is an emphasis on the strike when the fairways are so wet. I think we're going to see today that the best ball strikers of the day are going to be the guys who can control their yardages and control the ball on the greens.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that, Scott. You've got to get club on ball cleanly, because otherwise you really have, the wetness will take away your control.
Yeah, there's not much control about that one, I'm afraid. Time for our first visit then to Kit Alexander on the course. He's at the first.
At 6'9", Thompson has some seriously long levers, and he gets the ball out there a long way. An errant tee shot on the first here though, and he's had to lay up on the par 5. The pitch is going to be tricky. It's uphill to a severely elevated green. They're soft. Judging the right trajectory and spin to get it close to this flag is absolutely vital.
Well, Kit said it. Jonathan Thompson, the Rotherham lad, he's a big boy, bidding to become the tallest winner on the EuroPro today. And the rookie, so far, going along very nicely. And I think, Scott, he should be playing without pressure, really.
Well, he should be. I mean, the thing is the pressure, it's all what you put on yourself, what your expectations are. You know, he's only turned pro 4 weeks ago. He's got himself in a great position, just needs to go and play his own game today. Just do the best he can in these conditions and see where he is at the end of it.
Tall lad, great short game though. Now right from a bit of trouble at the second.
Yeah, this is another one that you really not going to be able to see much except the top of the pin from there. And all in all, it's probably about as good an effort as he could do with not being able to see anything.
Yeah, I think today as well, Gary, the bunkers are real hazards. Even though there's no puddles in there, they are very wet, the sand is very heavy, and they are to be avoided today, I think.
Bit of bother for Spooner. Now right, we saw how tricky part of this length is on this green already from Fenwick. And again, just wanders on by, unfortunately. So a little bit of a tame start at the moment from the main contenders.
Yeah, they've really got to sort of tiptoe their way forward. They didn't play yesterday, so they've got to get the feel for the speed of the greens and be mindful of any lumps and bumps caused by footprints and things. And a softly start is really to be expected.
That slightly squelchy bounce there as Ben Smith just lofted that chip in from the rough. So a couple of errant shots from him. Wonder if it's going to be Billy Hemstock's day. 5 under at the moment for the man from the southwest.
Yeah, this is another interesting hole here. It's severely downhill for your second shot, playing off a downslope, and you could see there 9 times out of 10 on this hole you land it just in front and it'll release onto the green, but after all the rain, bump, stop dead, and he's left with a chip.
Now here's a awkward little one to judge the control, but he's done well there. Just pop it onto the front of the green and try and let it release down, which is what he did.
Very nice from Spooner. Let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, pretty close to the face. Ball looks like it's sitting down. Nice long backswing. Drive down into the sand. Pop that ball up as quick as you can, as soft as you can. And then hope you've judged the release on it, which he did pretty well. Here's Hemstock. As Gary said, his ball just dug right in there short of the green, and he has left himself a shot down the ski slope here. And that one dug in very quickly as well. Played it nicely, Gary?
Yeah, played very well, and you know, any sort of dry conditions, this shot would be almost impossible to stop because the green slopes severely from the front to the back. And again, he's hit it very well, and I'm sure Billy can hardly believe it pulled up short of the hole.
Yeah, lovely metronomic stuff from Hemstock. Now back to the 20-year-old from Rotherham. And so far, so good from Thompson. He'll be disappointed with his tee shot, but it is a tight drive on the first, but recovered well.
Yep, safe par. Safe par to start. Settle a few nerves, perhaps. And Hemstock to tidy up on the third. And it just slides by. Ball's just wavering a little bit, perhaps, on these greens, as we've said, with still some moisture close to the surface.
Saving par from the sand. Not to be. It was really a nasty jab, that, which was nowhere near the hole.
And a lot of setup on that putt. Sets up the right way round, index finger down the shaft, and then changes to cackhand to putt.
Yeah, it's a funny bit of preparation. There was a funny bit of preparation before because he looked like he'd marked the ball with a T-peg, which, whilst not illegal, is definitely not the done thing.
There we go, wrists slapped by Gary Ellis. And another player wanders away from a green, looking rather disconsolate. Not the first time, not the last time we're going to see it today, I suspect. No real trouble then at the moment for Jonathan Thompson. The youngster still leading and looking very good indeed. I suspect we're heading for a fascinating final 18 holes today. Now, Hannah, I suspect Brolly in hand is with our event sponsor.
Now, it's always important to have our sponsors at the PGA EuroPro Tour. Now, I'm joined this week's sponsors with Peter from Glenfarclas. How important is it to you to be part of this event?
Absolutely. This is our 4th time. It's our 4th year running now. We're family owned, we're family run. It's quite unique in the whisky industry. So we try and support businesses like Mar Hall and also the Euro Tour, and it gives people, you know, up and coming golfers a chance to make some money.
And how have you found the tour so
It's
far?
been fabulous. Everyone's well organised. The guys at Marhall have really looked after us, and I think unfortunately the conditions haven't been great, but that's the weather in Scotland at this time of the year.
It certainly is. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Jonathan Thompson survives the first big test here at Marhall with a par on the opening hole in this Glenfarclas Open. More after the break. Well, the rain continues to fall. Welcome back to the Glenfarclas Open as we head into our curtailed tournament. It's a second round of 18 holes with a 2-tee start to decide our champion this week. And if we take a look at this leaderboard, you can see Jonathan Thompson still has a 3-shot lead, the 20-year-old rookie with a handy cushion. But my goodness, as you would expect on a 2-day tournament, there's a lot of players on a very, very similar score. Is someone going to be able to make a break in these conditions today? Well, there is our leader. We've already referred to his height, but you can't get away from it. 6'9". That's tall. You might have expected him to be guided towards other sports, but there are a lot of tall golfers out there, Scott.
Yeah, some successful guys as well. Ernie Els, Anton Haig had some success. He's a very tall guy, so yeah, it does work.
I tell you, it's not easy though when you're that tall. You've got to have clubs that are a bit longer. They've got to be very upright. It messes with the swing weight. It's really tough to get kit to fit a player that tall. It's hard.
Yes, most tall players will tell you that. Now Spooner at the second. Lovely bunker shot from the Woodall Spa man just before the break to get himself out of a bit of trouble. And just a little bit lively on that tee shot. We talked about attacking the pins today, but you do have to be a little cautious as well.
Yeah, indeed. You want to be finding the greens or the aprons at the worst, even if you are attacking.
Nicely done by Thomas Anderson. So one of those players in a massive group of players that trail by 3 at the moment, as we go to Smith for his tee shot at the second.
It's a very difficult green, this one at the second. It's a sort of hourglass shape, but it's very, very narrow, as a number of greens are here at the Marhall, and enormously long, but probably only about 8 or 10 steps wide.
Hemstock then with his tee shot at the par 3 fifth. Not quite the start that Billy was looking for. He's got himself in a good position on a couple of holes, but it's been very tricky with the short game, and Hemstock does indeed find the apron. Let's hear from Kit though. He's with the leaders at the second.
It's not hard to see why the guys are struggling to hit this second green today. This par 3 is 220 yards long and it's a very narrow target. Spooner has come long off the back. He's faced with a really tricky chip. It's slightly downhill. There's hardly any green to work with. It's tough. Thompson safely in the middle of the green. He'll be more than happy with that one.
Let's hope Kit doesn't become the portent of a shocker. If you see him appear at the back of the green you're just about to play to, be worried. Well, he said it was tough, and it was always going to be difficult. That's not bad.
No, that's a decent effort. Never sure how the ball's going to react. Obviously pitching it into the fringe or even the fairway, short of the green. As we watch these guys from the PGA clear away some more surface water.
Life of a tournament director, it's not all roses. There he is out with the squeegee. Poor old George Whale, but he's a good man with the squeegee.
Hemstock leaving the flag in for this one, and slightly misjudged the break on that towards the end of that putt.
A few birdie opportunities out there, not many being taken though. Here's another one for Thompson, but outside, a lot of terrain to cover.
Yeah, not easy these long putts today to judge the pace or the line. Well, he got the line, but he definitely didn't get the pace on that one.
Bit of natty headwear in the background, but Billy won't be worried about that, just concentrating on the putt, and nicely done at the 5th green that we just saw being squeegeed. So Hemstock trying to repair some of that early damage. Now, Ben Smith, one of the players we've seen in action in the early parts of this round, the man from Lindrick Golf Club, and another one of those young pros on this tour that we expect great things of. He spoke to Kit earlier in the tournament.
Ben, a 66 in the opening round. Is this a course that you thought would suit your game?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's one of them courses where, you know, if you can get the ball out there, which generally I can, you know, as long as you keep it on the short stuff, I think you can score.
Eagle in the first round. How much of an advantage is it to be able to reach those par fives when it is wet like this and you're not getting much run?
Yeah, of course, you know, it's an advantage to be able to hit the ball long. But of course, like you said, you've got to keep it in play. Nice to start with an eagle. Gets you round off to a good start, gives you something to sort of kick on from, you know.
You missed 5 of 6 cuts on the EuroPro Tour this season. Does that add pressure as we approach the very end of the year?
You know, it can do, but I feel like I've been playing some good golf, and even though I've missed the cuts, you know, a lot of what I've been doing is good. It's just been let down by a few sort of big scores, which obviously this week I've managed to keep off so far.
Well, here is Smith to avoid a bogey on the second. Did play a good approach here, recovery, but left himself a little bit of work to do. And I think he fancied that one. Just slid by on the low side. I'm not sure it's going to be a day where we see too many putts hold, to be honest, from outside 10 feet.
Smith playing alongside our leader, Jonathan Thompson. So already faced with a tricky one to save par. Got out of jail at the first. Needs to do it again.
May learn something having seen Smith's putt, and he tried to take note of it by holding it a bit more out to the right, but just too far.
Now, boys, I noticed that Ben Smith had the obligatory headphones on. That's a regular feature now of all sport, I guess, the sportsmen walking around with their stuff. And did you used to walk around with a Walkman on and a bag full of tapes?
I'm not that old, mate. I'm not that old. I did have a Walkman, though, I must admit. Yeah, no, the guys like to get in their own zone when they're warming up, have their favourite music on, just relax them before they go out to do battle.
What was your choice then?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. Too embarrassing.
I can say that I'm so old I was pre-Walkman.
It's a shame Bucks Fizz broke up, isn't it, Scott?
Well, let's get back to the action.
Now, Penny talked about playing well north of the border. You do get into that kind of mindset sometimes about certain courses, certain conditions. But he'll certainly have a chance today.
I think that's true. I actually always like playing in poor conditions because I had the feeling that half the players might sort of let it get to them. So, you know, I just got on with it and had some of my wins when the weather was terrible.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a mindset factor. As we see that one just venture into the deep stuff, that could be messy.
Tom Sanderson, a birdie so far today to take him to 4 under, so in contention.
Yeah, heavily bunched this leaderboard, as we've said. Is someone going to break through on this front 9, put some pressure on the leader?
That looks pretty thick and nasty in there. He's given it a great thump, as our Mr. Spooner, and what's he done with it? He's done very well to get it from there, and you can see feeding down, getting ever closer. Well done.
That's golf for you. Lovely tee shot from Hemstock on the fairway, and can't make anything of it, and Spooner finds a shot like that. Oh dear, just went off in my hand, officer, and he's lucky to get a bit of check on that.
Yeah, you could hear the connection there. It was ever so slightly clean. Got the late check on it, but again, a little bit of work to do there to tidy that one up.
Thompson from that elevated fairway coming down the hill. Similar sort of spot to Hemstock. And he really has attacked, and it's paid off. Very good stuff from Thompson. And if you offered him that before he hit it, he would have taken it for sure. Now, lots of new young players to introduce you to this week. Thomas Anderson, the Englishman, 24 years of age, from the Centurion Club. Not a familiar name to us on the tour, so maybe we should hear a little bit more about him. He spoke to Kit.
Thomas, you studied at Jacksonville State University before turning professional. How was that for your development?
It's fantastic. College it's like a breeding ground, really. I think you can see it all over the world, really. PGA Tour, European Tour. Everyone seems to have gone to college just because the schedule they put you up is really difficult. The guys you play with every day, really good, and you know, you're having to shoot a score every day for qualifying to play in the team to play in the tournaments. It's tough. So I think coming into the pro stuff, a lot of people find the transition maybe a lot easier than previously.
You played a couple of events on the Challenge Tour this season as well.
Yes.
How's that little bit of a step up in standard been?
Step up in standards definitely there. The guys on there are very good. Of course, you think in Europe, you know, that's like the top 400 guys really. So you can definitely feel the level is quite high there. And obviously the guys that are stepping up are going straight to European Tour, and you're playing against them. I mean, if you want to be a lion, you've got to train with lions. So that's kind of what I think and why I go and play in them, and just to get the experience again, to feel the level, you know, maybe use a few more of them coping mechanisms and put them to the test.
A very nice lad, Thomas Anderson, and benefiting from the fierce development grounds of US university sport. Birdie chance for him. He's given it a go and just unlucky. So it's a tap in for par. Anderson missing out on that birdie opportunity. Now let's get to Kit. He's at the third with more news from the leading group.
Really good opportunity for Thompson to immediately get that shot back that he's dropped. He's only got about 6-8 feet left. He's going to want to slightly bleed off the left down towards the river, but it's a really good opportunity to get back to level par for the day. 7 under for the tournament.
Well, the caddies look on with a bit of trepidation. Spooner now down the hill for birdie. Usually a very quick putt from here, but it won't be today. And he's judged it beautifully. Yeah, happy with that one, and so he should be.
That's a cracker. So birdie for Spooner on a day when scoring has been tricky. That's worth its weight in gold. Clyde in the background, Penny in the foreground, putting for par.
Just off the right lip this one should come, and indeed it has. Very good. Well saved.
Slightly different direction for our leader with this putt.
Yeah, as Kit described, it will move from the left. He hit it a little bit firmer than usual to try and hold it there, but it didn't stay up.
So, another missed opportunity. And at the moment, Thompson just can't get this final round rolling.
But it's solid stuff, and I think the important thing for him is he's in control, fairways and greens, giving himself chances.
Yes, and the rookie, 4 weeks into his professional career, still going well. 1 over for the day, but 2 ahead of that massive chasing pack. Now then, time to hear about getting a tournament played when the weather is against you.
Now I'm joined by Andrew, head pro, and Gordon, the greenkeeper. Andrew, it's been the 5th year of the EuroPro Tour here. How's it been for you?
We've really enjoyed it. It's been a challenging week, as you know. Weather conditions have been poor at best, but we've got there. Gordon and the rest of the team have pulled out the bag, worked really hard, so as a result we're delighted to host the tour again, and we're hoping that next year again the weather will maybe do us a little favour and turn for us.
Fingers crossed it would be nice, because the weather conditions, Gordon, have been tough, especially for yourself.
It's not been easy since Monday, actually starting from the practice round, a lot of rain on Monday. Tuesday was decent for the Pro-Am. Wednesday managed to get through the day, and then Thursday the heavy rain came on, and we're all squeegees and all hands to the pump really to get the course playable. But
yeah, and I heard this is the first time in about 10 years you've had to use the squeegees.
Well, the course has been open 6 years, and we've never had to squeegee before. It's just the weather conditions over the last few weeks, and it's been quite kind of difficult for us this week, but we've managed to get there in the end.
Yeah, a bit challenging, but a fantastic event.
Challenging but enjoyable, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thompson steadies his nerve with a par on the third to hold off the rest of the field by 2 shots. Can he hold his nerve for the rest of this tournament at the Glenfarclas Open? Welcome back to the Glenfarclas Open here at the Earl of Mar Golf Course in Renfrewshire, right on the banks of the River Clyde. Marvellous part of the world. Simon Golding joined by Scott Drummond and Gary Ellis as we head into more coverage on this final round. And we've got a rookie leader this week, Jonathan Thompson, playing very well to get himself 2 shots clear of the rest of the field. But it's going to be a big test for the pro that has only just turned professional. So back out to the action, and right on cue, there is our leader, 6'9" Thompson, swinging the club well so far in Scotland.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's found the centre of this 4th fairway. Middle iron for his 2nd shot. And wayward. That could be very awkward. It doesn't look to be anything the matter with this backswing, Scott, but again, I think just the contact with the ground just closed the club face a little bit, just a tiny bit heavy, do you think?
Yeah, it's a game of fractions, as we know, and even more so when the ground conditions are like this. That was a nice crisp action from Thomas. And straight down the flag. Cracking shot there.
Yeah, very compact golfer to watch. Anderson playing well. Spooner produced a birdie for us so far in this final round to get himself to 4 under.
Just trying to slide one in towards this hole. And let's go across and hear from Kit.
Thompson has pulled his approach into the sand here. He's short-sided, and this is going to be tricky. The wet sand makes it a little bit more difficult to get spin on the ball, so he's going to do well to stop this short or near the flag.
Now Anderson, for a great birdie this would be, after that stunning approach, and again just slightly misread it. Some swing from right to left on that putt, and it is all about the pace of it as well as the line.
Oh dear.
Well, nobody likes to see that, especially your playing partners. You don't quite know where to look.
Well, we're all grimacing away in the commentary box. That was tough. Now back to the wet sand and Thompson.
Although it's wet, the lie's quite clean. And a good shot really from there. You know, a chance. 4-5 footer. Save his part.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with that one. As Gary said, decent lie. Nice and flat. Just got to get the contact. Same from the fairway today. When it's wet, got to get the contact, which he does.
Now, we've heard from a couple of the newer players so far today in this final round. Time now to hear from one of the familiar older faces, 32-year-old Billy Hemstock. Still winning, still playing well, and still enjoying his golf.
Billy, another week, another tournament where you're in contention. 66 in the 1 round we've got in. What's been the key to your good play this week?
Again, solid off the tee, hit some nice iron shots and hold some putts.
Is the wet weather something that you think helps? It plays a bit longer off the tee, but you can fire straight at the pins really without having to worry about any bounces.
Yeah, that's right. With it being placing, you can get a pretty good lie on the fairway. Obviously they're quite wet at the moment, but then the second shots are sticking, so it is like throwing darts pretty much.
You've played here before and you've had some success. You've usually made the cut. You've also had a 6th place finish here. Is it a course you would expect to suit your game?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess a premium is on driving accuracy, and the green's quite small, so you need a good short game, and obviously you need to hold some putts, but obviously everyone in contention today has a good chance. It's pretty open, I'd say, so see what happens.
You've twice come 7th on the order of merit before. You're obviously having a great season. You're in contention again, playing well. Does it feel like that top 5 finish and the Challenge Tour card is now tantalisingly close?
It does feel. I mean, it's coming towards the end of the season. I'm in contention, which is great. Probably my best season to date, so yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, 4-time winner on the EuroPro Tour, and last time he was in Scotland earlier this season, he was shooting 61 to win at Montrose, new course record. Things are going to feel a little bit different today for Billy, though.
Another one just slides into the trap. Seen a few bunker shots today, really testing the guys with their skills. Now Spooner just came up Slightly short on this 4th hole with his approach. Able to get the putter out though. Fringe is fairly flat. And he gave it a good chance.
Yeah, back-to-back billies there.
Yes, and back to the Hemstock variety. Interesting there, obviously wasn't that good a lie, had to really sort of just stab down onto the back of that one. But a good result. Again, just shows how the bunkers, when they are wet, really are a proper hazard.
Yeah, indeed. Now from the bunker, this will be another good save. Slight misread, perhaps.
Yeah, I wonder if that is an indication of what is to come for Thompson. Second shot given back to the course, and the field, the peloton as it were, are back with him now.
Yeah, Hemstock, 5 feet, and right in the centre.
He'll take that. Good stuff from Billy. Very consistent player, as we've seen over the years. Now back to that elaborate setup from Spooner. Not this time. Knocked a good long one in earlier in the round, but that will be very frustrating.
I think one of the things here at the Earl of Mar course is the subtleness of the greens. They have an awful lot of borrows, but they're very difficult to read. I was out there having a look, and they really aren't easy to read.
Well, that's pretty straightforward reading. This man still has the lead, but it's not going to be at 6 under. Yeah, another drop shot, so 500 is for him. And that means that Thompson, for the first time in the day, finds that he's going to have to share the spoils at the moment. Hodkinson, Fenwick and Thompson moving to 5 under the card. And this tournament just got real, as they say. Very interesting here at the Glenfarclas Open, and plenty more to come. Let's go to the air then and take a look at 14.
Yeah, this 14th hole, just 352 yards, but as you can see, plays above its average of 4. So, a drive down here, over this bunker, towards the right side of the fairway, just to avoid this tree coming into play on the left side. Guys probably leaving themselves anywhere from 100, even down to maybe 50 yards. So, expect some approach shots fired in around this pin. Just those bunkers short, which shouldn't come into play at all today.
So our first look at Adam Hodkinson, the new joint leader. A very good player, Hodkinson. He's played nicely this season, strong man, and that was a good approach.
Yeah, and this is the man that he's joined in a share of that lead, a 3-way tie at the moment, Thompson.
Yeah, another fairway found, another short iron in. Can he find the target? He does indeed. Another shot pin high, that's good. Needs to make that one, I feel, just to settle himself after that opening couple of bogeys in the first few holes.
The very upright posture of Hodkinson with his putt. And again, it's another one of those that he's tried to keep it inside the hole, but there's just that little bit more swing on it.
Putting is perilous today, as this man has already found out. Chance to repair some damage. Good read, very good read from Thompson. Scott, you were dealing with the positives of this man's round so far, and now he's got a positive score.
Yeah, absolutely. He's that'll make him feel a little bit better after that opening start. Maybe that'll be the kickstart for him, just to get his round underway.
As we have a look at Warren Harmston, a very similar putt. And that one he read right, but didn't hit. So, very frustrating.
Yes, it's tough out there now. The second of the Billies in contention. A young man, Billy Spooner, just 18 years of age, loves his boxing, and he's certainly punching above his weight here at Mar Hall.
Billy, you're just 18 years old. It's your first year as a pro. How's the reality of it comparing to your expectations?
To be honest, this year's all about learning for me really this year, so I'm just taking it as it comes really. I'm just trying to improve each tournament and see what I can do.
What is it that you've learnt most of all in the season so far?
To be honest, I think the standards got a lot better on this tour. So I think you've got to bring your game every week, even to make the cut. So it's a good challenge for everyone.
Some of our more eagle-eyed viewers might remember you from a Channel 4 documentary in 2009 called Trophy Kids. You're quite a bit taller now. But how has life progressed? You've won a World Championship at the age of 8 years old. You've kind of been described as a prodigy by many people.
Yeah.
How's the progression been, and what's it like living in that kind of spotlight from such a young age?
Well, I've always been obviously like good from a young age, and to carry it on is like a result. So yeah, I can get better and better every year.
You're on record as saying you think you'll win a major. Do you still think that's the case?
Yeah, I believe I've got the ability to win a major. So if I work hard, why not?
God, he's another big lad. I tell you what, heavyweight division, I wouldn't want to argue with him. If he wants a major, he can go and get it. Now, Spooner. A little bit like Zane Scotland all those years ago when he featured on Blue Peter. He's got a bit of a tag about him now as a potential superstar.
Yeah, and that can be a good thing. It can also be a bit of a bad thing for some guys if they feel a bit too much pressure under the spotlight. But let's hope he takes that forward, keeps his confidence. He dreams big, go and achieve it. Why not?
Yeah, as we have a look at Craig Farrelly playing his second shot there into the 14th. And back to our man Billy Spooner with this birdie putt after a good approach. Just from the left, and nicely done.
Yeah, second decent putt we've seen from Spooner today, so the short game looks to be in nick. Now, let's go to the 16th.
So this 401-yard par 4 16th, it's all about placement off the tee. As you can see, these bunkers on the left are to be avoided at all costs. They're quite deep. And then we turn towards 11 o'clock, a sort of almost a heart-shaped green protected by this deep bunker on the left. But it's really all about finding the right club to give yourself a relatively flat putt, because there's a few slopes and humps and bumps on this green to negotiate.
Hodkinson looking to post a clubhouse score to get some pressure on the rest, but first of all he's going to have to sort things out at 16. That wasn't in the plans.
No, I think he had a very strange or difficult lie there. And here's another one. Billy Spooner at the 8th. Just a short shot, but this is from the deep stuff. He's got club on ball and narrowly avoided that trap. That's a good break for him. Should be a straightforward up and down from there.
Back to former Challenge Tour player Craig Farrelly, a winner in Nordheim, Germany a couple of years back, and finished 3rd at Burr Hill on the EuroPro Tour in 2015. That was his best finish so far on this tour.
Yep, straightforward par from a man with a good deal of experience.
Thompson, second shot here on the 8th. Little flop shot. Delayed spin. That's helping his cause a little bit.
This 350-yard 8th hole was reduced to just a drive and a flick out of the sand for Big Thompson. He's hit it a bit long though, got some action, but he's now faced with a lengthy putt for birdie.
Harmston now, second to 15, the par 5, fairway wood. Flying it in high. Has he got the yardage? Almost.
Slight build, but club swings up and down on the plane beautifully there. Scott, neat action, not much to go wrong with it, it looks like.
No, very tidy. If he can keep that tempo, all will be well. Now here, short wedge shot in, no glove on, attacking the flag. Probably looking for a little bit more action there, but didn't quite get it.
You guys always spot the gloves, don't you? And last year we had a man who wore 2 gloves, didn't we, in Aaron Rye winning it?
That's right. Our own Tommy 2 gloves.
Not bad from there. And a stop on the leaf. Thompson will take that.
Yeah, possibly looking for more after that monstrous drive that got him almost pin high, but unfortunately in the sand.
So now a little chip and run thrown up onto the green, and has he judged it? Not bad, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, still a little bit of speed on that green coming from that side, Gary. Again, a nice simple action. Stays down through the shot, turns through to target.
Spooner trying to make par to stay at 4 under. And not this time. He's putting from the shorter distances, has been a little bit shaky today. So rolls that in for a bogey.
Yeah, and that'll feel like a double bogey today on this short par 4.
I can tell you Thompson went on to tap in for his par as we go back to Hodkinson.
Pretty big swing on this one. It'll come down off the hill. And didn't move as much as I thought it was going to.
No, don't you find though, Gary, sometimes some of the greens that have got a bit more moisture than others, the break just isn't quite there?
Yeah, and these holes at the bottom here, 14, 16, they do hold a lot of moisture.
Harmston then after that slightly strong chip, and that is a very confident putt on the way back up. So well done to him. No dramas for Warren. First look at Ryan Campbell, trailing by 2. He's come into the frame as well.
Yeah, be looking for a strong finish on these last 3 holes. See if he can post a decent clubhouse lead. And a very aggressive shot there, getting the comeback off the slope. As we move over to 15 and take a look at this par 5, just 478. Almost, well, pretty much par 4 distance for a lot of these guys in the modern game. Drive it past the trees, find the fairway, and then you've got a pretty straightforward shot up into this green. If you can get there today, 2 good hits with the moisture that's on the ground. Green only protected by that bunker short and left, so plenty of room to get the ball in there. And should be plenty of birdies on that hole today.
So can Craig Farrelly launch one into the middle of this green? He's let fly with his fairway wood. Looks as though it's gone a bit left though. Only a little bit. That still finds the putting surface and pin high.
Yes, conditions working for him there. Back to Campbell for birdie.
Opted to use the putter here. Not much room to manoeuvre the ball with a wedge, and he's judged that very well. Half a roll and she would have been in.
Well, no justice there. That was a lovely putting stroke. Genuine frustration, because that was a scoring chance. That would have taken him to 5 under heading to the clubhouse. Now Thompson, tall man, ball below the feet. Can it get worse?
It looks like he's almost got a toothpick in his hand there with the way he was having to bend over for that. And it's a very tricky green, this 9th. It's probably the most undulating, but he's done well there. Put it in close.
Yeah, we forgot the big tree to come in over as well. Now Harmston, I was at a long driving event the other week talking to some of the more slightly built long drive golfers who were talking about the fact that flexibility has become their best weapon. Harmston fits that category.
Yeah, absolutely. No point being too bulky and all strong and having no flexibility. Some of the guys who drive it the furthest, as you say, fairly slightly built, lean and mean, and plenty of flexibility to get the speed.
Yeah, that coiled spring effect, that's a nice putt from Farrelly. Good golf from him. And back to the lean and mean Harmston at 16.
This is a tricky putt to judge. Very long, up over the hill, swinging around on the hill, and he's judged that very well.
Back to Thompson on 9 after that tremendous approach shot over the tree with a wedge, and he converts it. And that again will make him feel good going into the back 9.
2 brilliant shots from Thompson. Harmston then for par. Well done, having done the good work to get to 5 under, manages to stay there. Let's see what that does to the leaderboard. That lovely birdie at 9 for Thompson means he goes back to even par for the day, but more importantly for him, moves 2 shots ahead of that chasing pack. A lot of players now on 5 under. I wonder what score can be posted in the clubhouse, and I wonder what pressure they can put on the leaders. The rookie then, Jonathan Thompson, heading on to his back nine here and heading towards potentially his first ever professional win on the banks of the River Clyde in the Glenfarclas Open. Welcome back to Marhall in Scotland for continued action from the final round of the Glenfarclas Open, a tournament that over the years has produced some fantastic finishes, and the way the leaderboard is poised at the moment, as you can see, there's the potential for another very good one here. It's tightly bunched at the top, but our leader Thompson is 2 shots clear of that chasing pack. The clubhouse number from one of those players is going to be an interesting score, because that, I'm sure, is what Thompson is going to have to overcome. But who is going to set that number? And I wonder how low it's going to be. What sort of score are we looking at today, Scott?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? The way the greens are, some guys are making some putts, a lot of guys are sliding them by. I'm not sure if we're going to get to double figures today, but certainly someone needs to come out of the pack on 4 or 5 under and post something.
As we have a look at Nick Cunningham playing his approach into the 8th hole, and we'll hear from Kit, who's down on the 8th.
Nick Cunningham was the first off the 10th hole today in a 2-ball. He's been following the leaders and he's got himself up the leaderboard from that early start position. He's got a 2-footer here on the 8th, his 17th hole, to go to 5 under par.
Yeah, Cunningham with some seriously good golf. We'll see him in a moment, but Hemstock first up with his birdie opportunity at 10.
Yeah, heavily undulating green here. Billy came up short and right off the tee, and his putt is doing the same. From the fringe, you can see the slope there he's walking up. Tough to judge that one.
So, firm, right in the middle, no messing. Can it be done?
Yes, good lad. He was listening to you, Gary. Some very good golf from Cunningham, but when you drop this much talent on a golf course, even in tough conditions, someone's going to get it right, and Cunningham's the man at the moment.
Yeah, we have got some good players here, and many have gone on. You mentioned Aaron Rye earlier on, who's gone on and is doing great stuff on the Challenge Tour this season.
Yeah, him and Jordan Smith as well performed well at the end of last season. Has moved himself to, is it 2nd on the rankings in the Challenge Tour?
He is 2nd on the rankings, as we saw Billy let that putt slide by and a shot gone.
Now back to Fenech. He's been in contention a couple of times alongside a few of the other Scottish players. Has mounted a very good challenge from north of the border. Back to the man of the moment.
Yeah, another short iron in here for Cunningham to the 9th, his final hole. Can he find another birdie? Just the wrong side, or just too far past the pin, and it drifts away now. Uphill putt though, I'm sure he'll give that one a chance.
Now, we heard from Max Penny at the top of the show. We haven't heard much from him since, which would tend to indicate that he hasn't really made a movement. He's hung on to 4 under, and that is a fine shot.
Yeah, maybe that'll get his back 9 kick-started.
Right then, come in, Kit, where are you?
Cunningham's left himself 20 feet up the hill for birdie here on the 9th, his 18th. If he holds it, he'll post 6 under par in the clubhouse, and that's a really competitive total today.
Oh, watching a very, very good round of golf. The caddy with Cunningham trying to put something pretty special together for the clubhouse lead.
Yeah, trying to finish with back-to-back birdies. And he gave it a try. Very good effort. And a very good day's work for the young man.
Yes, and a scorecard that should make pretty good reading.
Yeah, that's a solid back 9 of 31 for him, starting on the 10th, as we said.
So 66 sees Cunningham into the clubhouse with the lead.
as we take a look at Neil Fenwick with this birdie putt. And, just up and out of it, a bit sharpish there, and no joy.
Yeah, you've got to be aggressive with the putts today. If they're timid, they are not going to roll out. Now this has actually got a huge amount of swing from the right, and he's judged that beautifully.
Yeah, well done, Max Penny. 2 glorious golf shots. Left himself, as Scott said, with a very tricky putt, but he's made it, and he's made a little bit of a move on that leaderboard. How many players can you cram in on 5 under? There's your answer. Cunningham's in the clubhouse waiting to see. Likely that his score will be passed, but Thompson is still the leader. That 2-shot cushion looking invaluable. Now Hemstock has just gone off the boil a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Again, awkward on the side of the hill, ball just below his feet. Just hoping to feed it in from that front left corner, and nearly doing it.
Yeah, he needs something to happen, Billy. As we move over to 12 and take a look at this 435-yard par 4. Dogleg to the right, keeping the ball up the centre of the fairway, left of these bunkers which go all the way down the right. Then turning towards the hole. Quite a narrow entrance to this green when the pin's at the front. 2 large bunkers off to the right, short and right. All the trees and the hedgeway down the left. So just fire it in there, centre of the green.
How good are these aerials? Can the pros take something from that? Because it looks fantastic looking at the course from there.
Yeah, I think you can always take something from any sort of shot of the course. I always like to walk the course backwards, actually, from green to tee. I think sometimes that can give you a lot more of an idea.
Yeah, which is pretty much the way we film a golf tournament. That's the view that you get from the back of the greens. Playing it the right way round, and playing it very well, though, is Thompson. And that's another cracking shot. Now, Kit is with Max Penny at 12.
Penny was absolutely rock solid on the front 9 with 9 consecutive pars. His game has really heated up as he's made the turn, though. A birdie 2 at the 10th, and he's got 25 feet uphill for a birdie on 12 as well.
Yes, you get the feeling there's something to come from this tournament, although the way scoring has gone, I would imagine it's going to be Thompson just trying to defend through to the end, but can someone make something happen? Well, frustration for Penny. Kit called it, but he couldn't quite find the shot. Hemstock for birdie. He needs something over these next couple of holes, I think, to get it moving.
Yeah, a little bit surprised with Billy today. Thought he may have mounted more of a challenge, but he let a couple slip, and the putts are not quite dropping for him. Still time, though. Still time to put together a little run.
Yeah, just a hole back from Hemstock is Penny. He's left himself with this rather cheeky one for par.
Yeah, this is not really the distance you want to leave yourself today, but he's coped with it well.
Here's the man, though.
Yeah, after a good tee shot, coming up the hill. Just knocked it through the break.
Always nice when it finishes directly behind the hole, Gary.
Yeah, not too much pain given from tapping in from about 4 inches, is there, Scott?
Now back to Campbell at 18. We've already got a clubhouse leading score at 5 under, so Campbell is going to look to get past that with a birdie at the last. Heart of the green.
Yeah, that'll be a long one if he is to make it. Yeah.
Oh dear, there's that rain again.
Yeah, let's hope this doesn't get too heavy now. You can see the size of the divots coming out.
Yeah, wet fairway.
Wow.
Just touched the ground just behind the ball. And
back it goes. Starting his own turf business.
I was going to say you could start an Olympic event with that, the size of that divot. And now throwing the 140-pound divot.
It's probably in the Highland Games. Oh no, that was a good chance for Campbell. He knows it. And a bit of a scrappy finish, I'm afraid, for him.
Yeah, finishing with a 3-putt is never pleasant.
Now the second shot coming up from considerably below the level of the green, as you can see. Never easy to judge the distance when you can't see. And straight over the top of the pin, but a difficult putt.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those things you don't see from the air, those undulations. So job eventually done, but not in the way that Ryan Campbell would have liked. And the Scotsman finishing with a respectable 67, but he'll know it could have been better. Oh, that's a shame. A round of 2 halves for him.
Yeah, and with the way the leaderboard's bunched, one shot can make such a massive difference at the end of the day. As we watch this long attempt, up and over and back down to the hole. And just a fraction short.
Yeah, that was a very good attempt from Max Penny. There were a lot of problems potentially there.
Now, Neil Fenwick, centre of the fairway. Towering shot. Yeah, lovely for length, but a tricky putt. You can even see the slope on that one. It's a big lump in the green.
No, right. Should have learnt from the previous putt he's watched. Almost exactly the same line. Should get an idea for the speed, which he does. And a cruel lip out for him.
We've seen a few putts that looked like they were going to drop and haven't quite. That is frustrating. Now let's get back up to the air and take a look at 13.
13, only 362 yards. Again, big fall on the fairway from left to right. Bunkers on the right to be avoided, but you mustn't stay too far to the right or you might catch those trees, go out of bounds even. And then again, we've got this long, narrow, sort of kidney-shaped green. The danger here is with the ball below your feet is that you don't get a very good contact with these wet fairways. So a challenge.
That just got even tougher with this stance.
Yeah, as we said earlier, all the more difficult when you're 6'9". He looks to get a great contact on that. And a good result.
I'm rather impressed. He's managing himself rather well.
He looks to have a good temperament out there, does the leader Thompson. Back to Fenwick.
Good roll down the hill there. Tough pin position, this one. Right on the top of the crown. Breaks off several different ways around the hole. Not too many shots getting close to this one in 2. That's a tidy par. And he moves on.
Now the other part of this very tall partnership is Billy Spooner playing alongside Thompson today. Oh, go on. What a shot.
Yeah, that was a magnificent shot. Again, you know, element of luck because you can't see, but beautifully played. Going to be a certain birdie.
Hemstock. Second shot here to 16.
Yeah, looks good. And again, pin high. Now let's get to Kidd at 13.
Spooner had a tricky lie, a little bit of a downslope coming from the rough, but he's hit an absolutely majestic shot. It nestled right next to the pin and it's a tap in for birdie.
There you go, exactly as Kit said. Not much work to do. And job done. Good reward there for Spooner's excellent approach.
Now Hemstock, as we've seen, a couple of putts from his side are tricky. As soon as it gets down the hill to the hole, it can keep going and slide by. But it's got to get there first. On line, a little shy at this stage, needing to be making all the putts.
Similar trepidation for Thompson with this one as well.
Yeah, he can.
Just stays up.
Yeah, nice positive putt though, which is good. He's not showing any signs of nerves with tentative shots or tentative putts. Well done, Billy.
Yeah, a bit of safety first there from Hemstock. We heard him talk earlier in the show about protecting his position in that top 5 if he can. Well done, Thompson. Still got a rather hangdog expression about him today, but well, if he takes another look at this leaderboard, maybe we'll get a smile out of him. It is just a single shot lead, but it is a lead, and I think the young man will take that at the moment. But looking dangerous now, Fenwick coming towards the end of his round. Looks like he's going to be the new clubhouse leader. It's getting very tasty here north of the border. Thompson then holds on to the lead, but with 5 to play, anything could still happen at the Glenfarclas Open here at Mar Hall. Welcome back to the Glenfarclas Open here at the Earl of Mar golf course in Renfrewshire. We're heading for an intriguing finish. It's still a lead for the rookie, Jonathan Thompson, but that lead has been reduced. Neil Fenwick from north of the border starting to look dangerous, but there's a few players could still have an influence on the finish of this tournament. So it's all good out there, the rain just about holding off, conditions having been very difficult during the course of this week. Well done to the staff for getting a tournament through to what looks like it's going to be a conclusion. And let's see who can take the trophy. Penny.
Yeah, this short 14th hole. And not quite the control he was looking for, but still a chance.
So from quite a long way back, Warren Harmston playing up into this 18th. Got a lovely line on it, but as you could see, the ball snagged in that first cut and held up on the fringe.
Well played, well played. Good confident stroke from Max Penny. So birdie takes him to 5 under, and he is very much in the mix now. Having had a quiet day as well, but nobody else has made a move, so it's there to be taken. Harmston lofts one in. That's very nicely played.
Yeah, he does have a nice action with those shots. That's a couple we've seen today. He's played very well. Very quiet. Quiet action. Getting the control on the ball that he needs.
A little bit reminiscent of Paul Reed with that short game. Another man successful on the EuroPro. Can this man Thompson be successful today? Oh, checked just at the right time.
Yeah, he does look in control, as Gary said. We don't know what's going on inside, but on the outside, he's holding it together very nicely. Playing some nice clean golf. After a slightly shaky start, he really has steadied things, and he's looking good here.
Second shot, par 5 15th for Thomas Anderson. Up a bit quick with his right shoulder as he managed to draw it back onto the green. Well, he's certainly drawn it back on line and only a couple of yards short.
So Harmston to clean up after that nice little approach, and he does. Back in 36, 1 over, but a 2 under par, 68 today, and some good work.
It's a touch of what could have been. Now, time to hear from another player, the experienced Welshman Gareth Wright. Very good amateur career, played internationally for Wales, but now plies his trade professionally up in Scotland. He spoke to Kit.
Gareth, 7 birdies, 3 bogeys in your opening 66. What was the key to your good score?
Good iron play, really. I think I hit 5 shots stiff, so there wasn't much putting to do. So yeah, just good iron play.
You've had a bit of European Tour experience this year, the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth, Scottish Open, the Paul Lawrie match play. What have you learned from those experiences?
I think the biggest thing is consistency. I think trying to keep the level up all the time. I think we can all play good golf, but I think it's just keeping the consistency at that high level all the time.
Yeah, just how much of a difference is there between that standard at the European Tour and what we see week in, week out here on the EuroPro and the Challenge Tour for that matter?
I don't think there's that much difference in general. I think obviously the top scores are very good on all the tours, but I think just the strength and depth, I think there's just a lot more guys shooting a lot of good scores. I think that's the biggest difference.
You finished 4th here at Marhall last year, so it must be a course that sort of suits your eye.
Yeah, I like the golf course. It is a golf course that suits my eye, and it's nice being able to sleep in your own bed, so that always helps.
Yeah, some excellent points there made by Gareth. It's no surprise when golfers do get the home comforts close to a tournament, they do generally perform well. But something also that he was talking about in terms of those differences in standards when you step up a level, add 18 holes as well. That makes a huge difference, Scott.
Yeah, no, it does. Definitely a big difference when you've got to keep it going for another day. Not only the physical side of it, but the mental side, as we see that one slip by, and the mental side now needs to be strong for Thompson.
Yes, the test continues for the rookie. Would have loved to have got back to the 2-shot cushion, but no, not going to happen. Back to Anderson then at 15.
And a very traditional trip and run there with a straight face club. Landing the ball on the edge of the green, letting it run out.
Let's take a look at this 18th hole, which could be a decider in this tournament this week. 413 yards. Hit the tee shot over those bunkers on the left. Try and get it up level with that tree or past it so it doesn't come into play for the second shot. Up the hill, bunker short and right shouldn't come into play. It's just getting the yardage to get up the hill all the way to this green today, with the fairways being soft. No trouble around it.
Yeah, this has caused problems for a few players heading for good finishes today. So let's see if Farrelly can make slightly better work of it.
He certainly can. That's a tremendous rip in there to 30 inches or so.
Yeah, what leaders would pay for that later on, perhaps. As we look at Wright with his little chip and run into this par 5. Well, it was right on line. Not quite a tap in, but very, very good chance for birdie there for Wright.
So after that wonderful approach, Craig Farrelly. Well, it took the necessary, had a little look first of all, and a very, very nice scorecard there. A couple of drop shots, but all in all, 4 under par 66. You'll be pleased with that.
It's a very nicely balanced and synchronised scorecard for him. That is the clubhouse lead for Farrelly.
Now Anderson to convert after his long chip and run that Gary described, and he does. Just catches the right edge. And he breathes a sigh of relief.
So just over the tap in for Wright. And there is that birdie that Scott was referring to. Let's take a look then at how things have changed. It's still very close, there's still not much in it, but it's still Thompson that has the lead as he approaches the end of his round. But this is not so good for him.
He looks to have muscled that out of there. Big strong guy that he is, and he's got it past those trees on the right, which is what he'd be looking to do. And here you can see just getting a little bit steeper on it so he can get down into the back of that ball. And he did make what appeared to be a very good contact from that lie.
One of the few advantages of being so tall is you can get down a bit more on the ball.
Now Wright has made a little advancement with that birdie at the last. Now has this one got the legs? Oh, not quite. Let's get to Kit, he's at the 15th.
There are only 2 par 5s here at Marhall. Thompson hits the ball an absolute mile, but he's not really been able to take advantage on either. He found rough off the first, and he's done the same here at 15. He's laid up, he's going to be faced with about a 40-yard pitch, but it's coming out of very wet-looking rough. He may even get a drop for standing water when he gets there, but even if he does, it's soggy, and he'll need a delicate, precise contact to get it close to the hole.
Well, here is that stance and lie Kit described. Does look quite mushy there. Sounded good. Yeah, a bit of delayed action on it. He'll be pleased with that. Another chance. Good touch for a big man, Gary.
Yeah, he certainly has. It's interesting over the years how many very large players have had a good touch.
Good touch required here as well. Quite a lot of green to come across. And that's nicely done. Oh, he fancied it and he took his chance. How about that? He got pretty close with the last chip on the last hole, didn't he?
He did, but that's a real bonus. Poor second shot, he wasn't happy with it. But there you go, all redeemed.
Righty, taking the putter out of the equation.
Come on, big guy, give us a smile. Are we going to get one?
No. Yeah, good luck with that. Got his game face on.
So, following that good pitch out of the mushy grass, Thompson inserts for a nice birdie, just keeping that little cushion there. Well done.
He's got that cushion that he wanted back again. The two shots that he's had for quite a lot of this final round are back just when he needs them. So Thompson heading down the closing stretch, looks like the man with one hand on the trophy. Can he actually finish it off in his rookie year for his first win? Thompson, a big man with big dreams, and it could be a big finish coming up after the break from the Glenfarclas Open. Welcome back to the closing action from the Glenfarclas Open here at the Earl of Mar Golf Course. We are heading for what could be another very interesting finish here at this venue. At the moment, we have a young leader, the rookie Jonathan Thompson, just 20 years of age, trying to get his hands on his first pro trophy. But there are some pretty good operators in amongst that closing pack. Can somebody else get back to him? He has a two-shot cushion, and he's looking to make that count right now. Fenwick, one of those men that could make a difference, but he's got a poster number with 2 to play.
Yeah, here at the long 17th. Demanding iron shot. And that looks to be drifting. Well, not slightly right, that's a long way right.
So, let's see how he manages his nerve over these closing 3 holes.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this young man today. After a shaky start, it could have all gone. But he has kept himself composed and played some great golf.
I have to say, this was pretty wide from Neil Fenwick here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the camera angle makes it look wider than it is, but that was fairly wide. And a tough approach to get that one close.
Thompson's pulled his tee shot and it's run up towards the face of the fairway bunker. Fortunately, it's not too steep a lip. It's lying well on the firm sand and he's only got 118 yards to the pin. He's a powerful guy. He should be able to get a sand wedge or a gap wedge all the way to the green from there.
Yes, at least with this lie, he's got those options.
Yeah, he's come out with a very good lie there. And he's got a good contact on it. Yeah, he'll take that, I'm sure. Pin high again. Another green found. Keeps the pressure on his challengers.
Now Fenwick was hoping to do something a little bit special over these closing holes to get some pressure on, but faced with this for a save. No.
Well, the best you can say is he's getting a bit nearer.
Thompson's done well to find the green out of the sand. His birdie putt, though, is coming up a massive elevation. It's really severely uphill. He's got a 2-shot lead from here. Take your 2 putts, get onto the 17th tee, par in, happy days.
Could look a bit happier, Kit, goodness me. It literally is as easy as that.
Couldn't be easier, no. And that's a good stroke.
Yeah, well done, Neil, but a little bit disappointing for him. But this is the man who needs to be beaten. His first professional win potentially just a couple of holes away.
Up and over the hill that Kit described, and that's very well judged. Very well judged. I do feel that finishing with pars, it's going to be unlikely that he'll be beaten. So he's doing everything right at the moment.
Interesting reaction after that putt. I think he fancied it. Now then, just needs to get his emotions under control and maybe just avoid looking at the scoreboard and play his own game, because Thompson is looking like the man to take this trophy, and really I think it's just playing against himself down these last 2 holes. Doesn't want to make an error and doesn't want to give this away. So Hemstock, we expected great things of Billy. He has recovered somewhat to get to -5.
Yeah, he has, and you know, normally he's such a neat player, you expect him to be firing a few more birdies, but it hasn't quite happened today. Been too many like that have just been there or thereabouts rather than right by the pin.
Fenwick now, second shot to 18, up the hill. A lot of guys not getting up there today, but he has. Safe side, and it just drifts off down towards the fringe. It will be a testing long putt. Yeah, frustration.
Yeah, that sums it up, I'm afraid.
So we get a nice look back from behind the pin at Billy Hemstock's chip here. Always a chap I like to see, because he never forgets the ball's round and it'll roll up to the hole.
Yeah, he's played some nice shots today. Unfortunately, a lot of them have been just to save par. Kept himself in the hunt, though, for a top finish.
Fenwick then. And that won't please him any more than the last shot.
No, he's misjudged that slope. You can see, shake of the head.
He just hasn't been in contention really this year that much, and I think that's been a little bit of pressure as we take a look at Saltman.
Yeah, the Archerfield Linksman, who has had success on this tournament, giving it the full time allowed to see if that will roll in. No movement there, and no breeze either to assist.
No, you're allowed to get to the ball in reasonable time.
Oh, you are kidding me.
And have 10 seconds.
Well,
I had to move away from it up.
He knew something we didn't. Good piece of golf there from Elliott.
Now Billy for another good save. Yeah, solid, right in the middle. But he'd be wishing those putts were for birdie.
So Fenwick to finish off.
Yeah, birdie would have given him a chance at this tournament, but I'm afraid that's not how it's finished for Fenwick. So a 68 for 5 under.
They're right at the par 3 17th. He needs something, as so many of these players do, but this is a long par 3. Hasn't yielded too many tight approach shots. That's one of the best we've seen.
Hemstock then with his approach to 18. Still a chance to get to co-clubhouse lead along with Craig Farrelly. He's played a bit safety first, hasn't he, today?
Yeah, I think there's just been some slight misjudgments from him, either line or distance, and he's just not quite given himself the chances, unfortunately.
Gareth Wright with a putt that won't be to win, but is going to earn him some decent money.
It's a hat-trick of birdies for Wrighty.
We're going to see that smile now or not?
keep trying.
No. He is happy though inside, I know it.
Back to Hemstock. He's left himself a shocking putt across this 18th.
Yeah, cricket pitch length. And well judged.
Yeah, needed a bit more of the in-swinger. to take out that off stump, but not quite happening. Now then, at last, chance to hear from this man, Jonathan Thompson, the rookie man from Rotherham, playing so well today. Could he be on the verge of the big one?
Jonathan, you've only been a pro for 4 weeks and you're leading a tournament going into the final round. It's pretty good, this professional golf mark.
Yeah, it is. You know, I played great on the first day, and yesterday was very tough, you know, not getting out there, thinking we're going to get out there, and never in a way really looking like we were going to get out there. But, you know, it's a great feeling to go into the last round. As leader, it's something that where I wanted to be, and I just got to go out and enjoy it.
You've had a little bit of a roller coaster ride to get here. When you were a child, you were diagnosed with lymphoblastic leukemia when you were just 7 years old. How satisfying is it to have overcome such hardships like that and get to where you wanted to be? Yeah, it's certainly something very special. You know, when you're out there on a bad day and everything else, you just think to yourself, well, certainly had a lot worse days than this, and you just got to use it to your advantage. A very lucky boy to be here, a very lucky boy to be leading a EuroPro event, and you just got to take everything in your stride. And as an amateur, you were in the England setup, you were fortunate to play all over the world. What did you learn from those experiences? I think, you know, you sort of learn how to travel, you learn how to play different climates, you learn how to play different golf courses, and invariably that is some experience for any golfer. You know, there's a lot of lads out there that don't get that experience and they still turn pro and do well, but I still think, you know, it's a great advantage to me. And again, I'm very lucky and privileged to have had that opportunity.
Well, it's a long way down to those big plates of meat, but it looks to me like he's got them very firmly planted on the ground.
Yeah, it was very nice to hear from him. He's a charming young man and articulate. Very nice, refreshing.
And he can play good golf as well. All helps.
He can. I really like his golf swing. I think it's very, very good. And as we said from the interview there, very level-headed, very humble. He's got a good future ahead of him, I think.
Yeah, Hemstock to hang on to at least some sort of score today. Yeah, made it tough for himself on occasions, but the scorecard will tell you the story. Not a bad final round from Billy Hemstock by any means. Now, let's get to Kit. He's at 17.
Thompson's got a little bit of work to do to save his par on 17. The chip is all downhill, but with the soft greens, he can be reasonably aggressive with it, and it shouldn't get away from him too much.
Now right at the 18th, important tee shot to find the fairway. This guy can send it out there. A little bit semi-sitting down, I guess you would describe that.
So, although the green was missed, he's got some shots in hand and room to feed the ball down to the hole. And he won't be unhappy with that at this stage.
So Thompson chasing that maiden victory. And now a little bit of experience in terms of managing the final stages of this round. Could be a very special day for him.
Now here is right from that lie, sitting down a little bit, just to get through it, which he does. Get it all the way up to this green. Oh, well, what a finish. Tremendous closing stretch of holes here for Wright.
4 birdies in a row and into the clubhouse.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, back to the man of the moment.
Right.
Yeah, quite right. Give it a little fist pump, my son.
Good lad, good lad.
Yeah, he's held a couple of those putts, crucial putts.
Max Penny to finish off. Strangely quiet day for he and Billy Hemstock, but that's sometimes the way it is. If no one's really firing in the group, it's tough sometimes just to be there for yourself and not feed off what's going on.
Yeah, as we look at that scorecard, 9 pars to open up with. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys on the back 9. Very solid, just nothing quite happening for him.
Look at that. Brilliant. All the emotion is there. And Thompson is trying to contain it within that massive frame.
One hole between him and his first pro win. And it looks like he's away very well at 18.
Yeah, he's picked the tee up quickly. And there we go, middle of the fairway.
Really giving it the evil stare there, wasn't he? Look at that. Go on.
Great stuff from Thompson. Let's hear from Kit then. He's at 18.
Thompson is just 4 weeks into his professional career and he stands on the verge of a first win already. He's blasted his tee shot down the centre of the fairway on 18. Just 116 yards stands between him and glory.
Yes, but most sports psychologists will tell you, don't think about that. Concentrate on the shot and the process in hand, which is pretty much what this man, Gareth Wright, has done. That is some finish from the former Welsh international, now playing in Scotland. He'll take that.
He will. He won't give us a smile though, will he? Still shaking the head.
I love
Great
it.
finish.
That
Great
is
finish.
brilliant. Brilliant goal from him for 6 under. Goes into a co-lead in the clubhouse. Now Thompson, one of the biggest shots of his career so far.
It is, as we get a lovely view at this, looking straight down the line. What's he done with it? Oh, it's a very good shot. That's unlucky. Too much action. Just hit it too well, Scott, didn't he?
He did. He did. He got great contact on it, but it was just that left side of the flag where it does slope away if you've got the spin on it. But a lovely controlled wedge. Yeah, look at that. Eyeing it down.
Well, yet again, this Marhall course looks like it's going to throw up a bit of a story for us. Plenty of putts for this title. He'd like to do it in style. Not quite going to happen, so we're going to have to wait to crown our champion just for another few minutes. Spooner, his playing partner alongside him, just to finish up. They'd make a pretty good second row, you know, those two.
Yeah, this putt to try and take something back out of the day. Left it short. So his frustration will continue.
Yeah, just ran out of steam, unfortunately, Billy Spooner today. The Woodhall Spa man, though, with a fine performance north of the border. Keep an eye on him in future. But for Jonathan Thompson, a very special moment. This to claim the Glenfarclas Open. It's a maiden victory for the rookie pro, 4 weeks into his professional career. Hey, this professional game's not so bad, is it?
Yeah, that's certainly a high point early on in his career. And a great platform for him to build on.
Yes, let's hope that that is the start of very good things to come. Well done to Jonathan Thompson. That's a superb result. A round of 69, 1 under the card for the final 18 means that 8 under wins Jonathan Thompson his first professional victory. The Glenfarclas Open champion can really now enjoy his time. Right, let's hear from the winner and his 2 closest rivals.
Jonathan, 4 weeks as a pro and you've just got your first victory. How does it feel?
It feels great. I don't really know if it's quite sunk in yet, but it definitely feels great to sort of get the job done out there. It wasn't easy today. You know, a little bit of a frustrating start for me. Very frustrating start for me, but I dug in well and I kept going.
Delighted. I played really good today. I really struggled on the greens, but to finish with 4 birdies and to sneak tied second, delighted.
I've been struggling with my game, and I just went to the driving range last night and had a tip off one of my friends and just got off to a good start. It helped me hit a couple of nice shots to start with, sort of settled me down because I've been sort of grinding away, and I hit it good today. You know, it was nice to play some good golf.
All I said to myself was, you know, this is tough for everybody, not just me. Stay patient. Because I felt like I was hitting good putts anyway, and even though, you know, the outcome wasn't that great, but stay focused, stay hitting good putts, and I'm pretty sure a few will drop, and they did.
You played really well tee to green all day. As you say, a few putts just weren't dropping early in the round. How difficult were those putting surfaces out there, as wet as they were?
They were very tough. The thing is, when they're that wet as well, they're very difficult to read. So you know, you want to allow for a little more break when really, you know, it's not going to break that much. And I did overborrow quite a few on the back nine. Again, hit great putts where I wanted to hit them, but it is very hard, you know. But the guys did a great job. You know, when I asked them to squeegee it, they squeegeed it for me, and yeah, it was good.
So for the first time this season, a win hasn't boosted our victorious player directly into the top 10, but that is down mainly to the consistency from the guys who currently own those spots. Matthew Court, with his 2 victories, remains the pick of the bunch, but with just Morallerton and the Tour champs left to play, it's going to be a bun fight for those top 5 places. Congratulations then to Jonathan Thompson, a special moment in a young pro's career, his first professional trophy, presented by Peter Donnelly of Glenfarclas.
Well, that's it from us here at Marhall. Huge congratulations to Jonathan Thompson, who turned pro just 4 weeks ago. What a fantastic achievement, Kit.
Absolutely, he's had an incredible journey, just 20 years of age, bounced back from leukemia at the age of 7, and a win so early into his professional career is quite something.
It certainly is. Well, join us next time for the Clipper Logistics Championship at Morallerton. Fingers crossed the weather will be a little bit better then. Bye-bye for now.